Hello and welcome. It's me, Mr. Toffee and Lewis from Kakuchopurei. We are now in day 2. Well, not really day 2. It's more like just part 2 of our Thailand Game Show 2022 coverage. We played a bunch of games. We saw some sights and sounds. It actually looks pretty cool. And we want to talk about the Sega stuff that we saw. So, Lewis, you played a lot of Sonic Frontiers. It's an open world Sonic game in 3D. It's trying something bold, new, and fresh. What do you think?
I mean, my only real experience with Sonic is from the original 360 game, which I didn't know at the time, but hearing from everybody, it was a complete shit show.
Sonic 2006.
Yeah.
Okay.
For me, I didn't really see too much of a problem. I did play it until it broke back then, so I just thought it was a part of the game, or maybe I wasn't good enough. But comparing it, the mechanics feel very familiar, although the controls, it's been a long time, so I found it extremely difficult when playing it. I died multiple times while playing the demo.
Yeah, I saw you. I recorded you just playing the game. You were, I think it was it wasn't the drill boss. The drill boss was actually pretty easy. Basically, it shows that little bit. You just have to do the homing jump and you're fine.
Yeah.
You died at the bit after that, after when that doorway opened, there was a portal, and you were speeding through.
Yeah.
Those were the classic 3D Sonic levels, I recall. So what was it that was tough? Was it because you missed the ramp?
Yeah, I just think it's just my unfamiliarity with maybe the franchise in general, because it's been so long since I played a Sonic game. I guess, and obviously Sonic's a very fast-paced game in nature. Maybe I just couldn't keep up. I can't quite put my finger on it.
Yeah, I think it's really cool that you did that whole... There are some new moves that Sonic has, like, using the little spin thing to form a little... What do you call it? A wave pool?
Cyclone kind of thing.
Cyclone. So basically that will destroy certain things and objects, right? It's like a power little vacuum thing.
Yeah, I think... going on to the next point, I used it to do some puzzles, and I feel like
you extinguish some flames, I remember, right?
Something like that. Yeah, I feel like that's the main appeal of the Sonic Frontier game. Is it's going to be a lot of puzzle what do you call it, fixing, puzzle breaking, essentially.
Yeah, there's actually a lot of puzzles in the open world where basically Sonic wakes up in like a highland area. It's all mountainous and stuff, and you got some puzzles to solve to open up pathways and portals to, I guess you could say they're classic stages, because in Tokyo Game Show, they actually showcased a version of Chemical Zone. I'm not sure which. It's the Sonic 2 level, the one with the really cool music and the chemicals and stuff. I think they're going to remix a lot of levels through that way. I mean, the developers are going to keep everything a surprise until the game's release in November 8th. And I played a bit of it, and I'm a bit more optimistic because Sonic really needs like a fresh pair of shoes to run through a new course.
Yeah,
that is probably a terrible analogy, but I want to see new things with the franchise. And I heard that the plot might be getting some vibes from the comics, like from Ian Flynn, the writer for the recent Sonic comics, which are pretty epic and cool. So I hope it goes down that pathway. I mean, what do you think? I mean, do you have high hopes for this upcoming Sonic game?
I mean, I think for Sonic fans, I feel like this will be a massive breath of fresh air. It's been so long since we've had a good Sonic game. For me personally, I'm not too sure if it will do exactly what it needs to bring in a new audience, per se. But I definitely think it looks promising to be just a good game. Nothing spectacular, but nothing horrible like, as many people say, the 2006 Sonic game. So, but yeah, other than that, it looks like it'll definitely be catered towards a certain group of gamers for sure. But going off of Sega as well, I believe you played the Yakuza spin-off, or the remake spin-off, of Like a Dragon Ishin.
First off, it's not called the Yakuza series anymore. Did you not watch the summit that happened a couple of weeks ago? All Yakuza games are now Like a Dragon, and this latest one is actually a remake of a PS3 game called Like a Dragon. I believe it's also Ishin, or it's basically set in the Edo period or the Bakumatsu period, where all the samurais have guns and they're all ronins and they have their own clans and they're all dying off, and electricity is being formed and Westernization is the thing there in that time of Japan. So you play as a Kiryu. Basically, it's Kazuma Kiryu under a different name. And you are part of the Shinsegumi of history, like cops, basically. Rebel cops. And you're just trying to deal with the uprising that's going on in the town you're in. So I played 2 missions. One is actually the open world area at daytime where you get to walk around, do some side quests as per a Like a Dragon game, and also beat up some thugs with your sword and gun, and your fists. I think they suffered mortal wounds, but I don't care. So what's really cool about the combat system is you get to switch between 4 styles. And, you got sword gun, sword, pierce sword, and fist. That's 4 already. And within these 4 fighting styles, you've got like trooper abilities. So one style will have 4 trooper abilities. Trooper abilities are basically like support skills that you can use. They need to be recharged after one use. So for example, 4 of them, one of them can be like a Hadouken. I'm not kidding, by the way. A Kamehameha.
Pretty much, yeah. Okay.
And then another one is basically like, you deal absurd damage in your next attack. And you've got one that slows down time. And you've got one that basically, after you do a wind-up animation, you do a ground pound explosion. And then you've got other support abilities where you fill up your trooper bar.
Right.
Okay, and then the second fight is actually the second stage is actually a nighttime segment where you are just being pointed to different markers to defeat enemies and bosses, with the final boss being a really tough samurai.
Right.
Now, the thing is, he wasn't really that tough because I found a style to exploit his attack style. When I was using the katana, just the pure katana style, I was getting my ass handed to me because my attacks were slow.
Right.
When I use the sword gun combo, for some reason, I fight faster. So my dodges have more invincibility. So I was spamming that to high heaven and the boss was just being juggled back and forth. And plus, the fact that the demo actually gives you unlimited trooper energy means I could just spam all the attacks I want. Obviously, that won't happen in the real game, but it's actually really fun just to see all the different attacks I can use with the trooper abilities. Like, again, the Kamehameha combined with the explosions, and I believe there's one move where Kiryu actually uses a bunch of grenades. I think they look like grenades, but it explodes like one, basically. But it's a very weird power-up, but one that is welcome because I kind of like to see how you can experiment with this, especially for tougher bosses. Mm-hmm. Because if I know my Like a Dragon games, they're going to have like a post-game uber boss that you need to exploit using the trooper system with.
Right.
So all in all, I like the setting, but it's definitely going to be deja vu if you played one Like a Dragon game, you pretty much know how it's going to go. You got your sub-stories and your main quests. You're going to spend like maybe 80 hours on the sub-stories.
Yeah.
But your main quest is going to be like 20 hours plus.
Yeah, there's just a formula to it.
It's a formula. It's a formula that made Sega some money.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even with its head producer Toshihiro Nagoshi gone, the new team's actually doing a great job. Yeah. And this is a really pleasant surprise. Like a Dragon Ishin. It is a lovely surprise because I never thought I'd see this game come out like a day in English, mind you.
Yeah.
So it's really good to see it with a fresh coat of paint, with the stories that will be pretty interesting and cool. I hope they can bring back some of the weird elements, like, there's like I remember there was a Like a Dragon sub quest where you had to help a guy who likes to be in a baby diaper.
Right.
Yeah, it's a thing, and also helping a dominatrix get her groove back. I want to see weird shit like that in Like a Dragon Ishin.
Yeah.
But the combat is going to be solid, especially with the new styles, the sword gun style, and also the trooper system. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking forward to that. I believe that's coming out on February 23rd, 2023. If I'm wrong, it's probably that same week. Mm-hmm. Basically, it's like near the end of February.
Going off of that, do you think that it's going to bring a new audience to the Like a Dragon franchise?
I believe it's so, because it's actually, if you approach it as a new game, it's going to be a completely new story, because no one outside of Japan has played the PS3 version of this game.
Yeah.
I did play it, but it's called Kenzan. I played Kenzan, and I think I stopped halfway because I got really too deep. So think of this Ishin as like a way for me to revisit this game, but now I can actually finish it and understand what's going on.
Yeah.
So yes, it will breathe new life. But I won't say it's even a new game, but it doesn't matter because it's being marketed as a remake with new abilities and new mechanics, which I welcome. Mm-hmm. So this will be a nice little meaty game for everyone to play. And plus, I believe this is the Japan gaming industry's way of jumping onto the Ghost of Tsushima train.
Fair,
Because once a Western developer has done a game like that that's successful and has earned the respect of a lot of Japanese developers, I think they want to basically one-up that notion.
Alright, so that's it for this video. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you want to see more content like this. We upload every single week, and obviously ding dong that notification bell if you want to be notified for when we upload next. My name's been Lewis, this is John. See you guys next time.